Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another shard opening in Raid Shadow Legends. Today in this video, folks, I will be opening over 250 shards. It is a double void weekend, and that means obviously that there are double the chances for getting Legos and epics in void shards, but I will be doing all sorts of shards, and this video will have a dual purpose. It will have an entertainment side to it, but also a tutorial sort of side to it as well, as I'm going to be showing you what I think is the best method to, of course, get legendary champions in Raid Shadow Legends from your shards. Now obviously if you play Raid Shadow Legends, you will know that shards are quite important, and whether you earn them or whether you buy them, you do want to increase your chances to get a void champions. They are highly sought after. So also there is a champion training event. As you can see, I am pretty much close to finishing this one off well ahead of time. Been working on that as well, and that is pretty much a good reason, a good way to get the shards. It is how I got quite a few shards. Obviously I did also purchase quite a few of them. So this is what I have right here. We've got 212 Ancient Shards, 35 Void Shards, and 4 Sacred Shards. So that, to me, by my maths, brings it up to 251 shards. Now let's get into the strategy I'm going to use to get those wonderful legendary champions. As you can see, I have around 500 or just over 500 mystery shards, and do bear that in mind because they have a very important role to play in the strategy that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to look at the information. As you can see, the legendary, the epics, and the rare shards, the rare champions from the mystery shards are very rare events, so they happen very rare. Now obviously with this being double void, that means that the chances for the void to drop epic or legendary champions is doubled, but it's still a low number. So what we want to do is we want to increase our chances of that rare number, that rare occurrence of getting that rare champion from the shard that we're going to pull. And the way we're going to do this is, obviously, you will require the following things. You will need a lot of space in your inventory, a lot of money, because we're going to be starting off with pulling mystery shards. Each mystery shard has that rare chance to drop a rare champion. Whether you're pulling mystery shards, whether you're pulling void shards, it doesn't matter. They all have their own specific numbers. Now, by starting off with the mystery shards, before you pull the valuable shards, you are technically increasing, and mathematically speaking, increasing your chances of getting a good pull on the rarer shards. So for example, a 1% drop chance would mean that you would have to pull somewhere in between, let's say, 70 to 150 shards to get that rare drop. That's a very rough estimate, right? Now do bear in mind, with the Ancient Shards, there is a 0.5% chance of getting a legendary, a very rare chance. So roughly around 200 shards or over 200 shards should give me a legendary. Going off of the void shards, it is a 1% chance now to get, with the double chances, to get a void. So that means I would probably have to pull anywhere between 80 to say 150 shards to get one legendary. It all comes down to how luck plays out. So this is very important. So by pulling the mystery shards first, you're getting that ball on the luck rolling. You're increasing your chances of getting a legendary on the ancient or void, or even on the sacred shards. Now very important to note here is that the sacred shards do have a higher chance of dropping something good, but it is still a low percentage. So the numbers from my tests that seem to work best is you will want to pull anywhere in between, I would say, at the lowest 60 mystery shards to maybe 100 mystery shards, depending on how things roll out. You do not want to see a rare champion out of that. If you've gone, say, up to say 70 or 80 mystery shards and no rare champion has dropped, then you will want to move to whatever shard you want to pull of higher quality. That should have significantly increased your chances. With the Ancient Shards, I would recommend having anywhere between 50 to maybe 100 shards ready to pull, as that is where you might get a legendary to drop. So I've already pulled around 70, and obviously you will need a lot of money because you will want to crunch all of the food champions. So everything that you pull from the mystery shards you will want to crunch quickly and then go into the ancients. So now we're doing stacks of 10, and as this is a game of chance, from my personal experience, realistically and mathematically speaking, it doesn't matter whether you pull them one at a time or in stacks of 10. Obviously I do have a lot of shards, so I'm gonna go with stacks of 10. So I've already got several epic champions over here. I'm expecting to get, so actually let's go through the maths. From the Ancient Shards, seeing as I've got over 200, I would have thought that within those 200 shards I should get one legendary. It is a 0.5% chance of dropping a legendary. Now obviously the voids are double, so that means it's a 1% chance for a legendary from the void shards. However, I only have 35, so not even close to 50 to be fairly honest. So the chances are still low for me to get a legendary, and I have 4 sacred shards. Again, a higher chance, but still, because I have very few of them, I shouldn't expect to get anything realistically speaking. Now that means, by my maths, by my estimation, if I get 2 champions, then that's done good. I should technically get 1 to 2 champions from all of these shards. Anything above that is a bonus. So let's see what we're gonna get. Do bear in mind that once you get a legendary champion, that rare chance has already occurred, so you will need to go back to pulling the mystery shards just to get that ball rolling again on the rare occurrence. The rarer the champion is, the more shards you want to pull, the more ancient shards you want to pull, to be more precise. So again, as I would say, anywhere between 60 to maybe 80, even 100 ancient shards. And as you can see, I've already got a Tomb Lord quite early on, so that has worked in my favor. Now obviously you can get a legendary early on, it can get one later on, but ideally, mathematically speaking, to increase your chances of getting a legendary, you will need quite a few mystery shards. I would recommend several million, because you will use money to pull the shards, you will use the money to crunch the food onto a champion, feed it to a champion so that you can make space, and then you will need the money to pull the better shards as well, so keep that in mind. And I haven't even crunched, I don't even know what I crunched. Let's have a look. I've done, oh, go away. Yeah, so I've done about 30 shards, over 30 shards, and I've already got a legendary. So that's how it works. Now do bear in mind, as I said, you can get that legendary later on or earlier on in the pull. Also, as this is going to be a long video, I am going to show the feeding process of the common, uncommon, and rare champions only in the first segment, to show you that that's what I do. Afterwards, I will be cutting those bits out and only focusing on the pulls. So each time there's a cut in the video, bear in mind that I made that cut because I went to the tavern to feed all of the uncommon, common, and rare champions to another champion, so that I make space in the inventory to be able to pull some more champions. So I've spent a lot of time, effort, and finances to try and develop this strategy so that people can get the best possible outcome when pulling their shards. Do bear in mind, it is not a guarantee, it's just a way of increasing your chances to get something potentially good. Now, when you do get a legendary, you can get a bad legendary, an okay legendary, or a god tier legendary. It's still a game of chances. However, you, through this method, are significantly increasing your chances in pulls to get that gold, to get that legendary champion. As I said, I should see at least one champion. If I'm having a good day, under normal circumstances, I should be able to get 2 legendary champions. Anything above 2 legendary champions in this pull should be really good. Now I'm hoping to get quite a good number of legendaries. We'll see what happens by the end of the video. At the risk of sort of repeating myself, I'm going to emphasize on the fact that it's quite important to go back to the mystery shards and pull 50 to 60 to maybe even 80 depending on how things roll out once you've got a legendary. Now there are very rare chances where you can get legendaries back to back, but those don't happen very often. So once you've got a legendary, that rare occurrence has already happened. So the chances of that happening back to back are very small, and you don't really want to waste your valuable shards. That's why it's important to go back to those mystery shards. Obviously, pulling mystery shards means you will have to spend money, and by money I mean, of course, silver. There we go. There is my second legendary, a decent legendary. I like the first one better than this one. Norog is okay, but I can definitely make use of him. And as you can see, I'm already, or as you saw at the beginning of the clip, because I will do my best to include that, I was already 111 shards into the pull. Now within 100 shards to get 2 legendaries, or within just over 100 shards to get 2 legendaries, that's a big thing, right? That's how amazing this strategy is. Don't get me wrong, this does not mean that you will get 2 or more champions within 100 shards every time. This is still a game of chance, and again, as you can keep seeing every cut I make, I do go back to the mystery shards once I get a legendary. However, I will not be doing that with the void shards because my void roster is a bit lacking, and I do want to try and collect some void champions, even if they are duplicates, and by that time I will be pretty short on space. Now if we do the maths, within that first section, or up to this point, I got 2 legendary champions within my first 100 shards. So if you think about that, that's more or less, I've increased my chances within that first segment, the first 100 shards, to pretty much a 2% chance from a 0.5. We'll see by the end of this pull what chances are. We'll do a little quick math at the end of it and see what we got. Now do bear in mind that as it currently is with the Ancient Shards, the drop chances are 0.5. You really realistically want to be doing this on a double event for the Ancient Shards, as you will get a 1% chance. So I reckon that this method kind of tends to double your chances of getting a legendary, whatever that chance is. Currently speaking, I'm doing it on a normal day. It's not a double ancient week. So with that said, I should be expecting to have a 1% chance of getting a legendary. 40 shards to go, 2 legendary champions so far. Quite a few epics, some better than others, but that's the way this works. Still relying on chance. It is a game of chance, and I'm still happy with what I got. The numbers are pretty good. I did get quite a few duplicates, to be fairly honest. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with them, but some of them I may use as books, some of them I may keep for later use. We'll see exactly where things go. I'm obviously going to be very careful with the epic champions that I got because I do not want to waste them. So Taurus is a duplicate for me. And let's see, I think this is the last pull that we have. Alright, so that is that. So within 210, but let's say 200 shards, I got 2 legendary champions. If we do the maths, that is a 1% chance. So if we divide that, you would roughly get 1 legendary champion per 100 stack. So that's a 1% chance. So technically I doubled my chances from a 0.5 to a 1% chance. Very important to note here is that when I finished with the Ancient Shards, I did not go back to the Mystery Shards. I went straight onto the Void Shards. So we're going to have a look at what I get. And hopefully at this point in time, it's actually worked in my benefit, because now I have a good chance of getting a legendary from the Void Shards. I don't have very many Void Shards, so I'm kind of happy that it played out, because that has quite significantly increased my chances of getting something good out of the Void Shards. And if you think about it, to be fairly honest, I said that I expect 1, maybe 2 legendaries out of all the shards that I had. Anything above it is a bonus. I've already achieved that target of getting 2 legendary champions. Now let's see if I can get a 3rd legendary champion, hopefully a Void champion. I've got a Skull Crown, so that's really good. I really needed and wanted a Skull Crown for my collection. Got quite a few epics, as you can see. Again, very hyped up for that. I do have quite a few faceless champions, but it is okay. We've got Seducer. We still have quite a few shards to go. Now, luckily, I've managed to collect a decent amount of Void Shards to go for the pull. I've also watched YouTubers and streamers pull their Void Shards, and I can tell you that within 35 Void Shards, there weren't very many legendary champions. I didn't see very many good champions or legendary champions. So, you know, if I get something from here, that is going to be absolutely amazing. And I've got Lua as well, another really good epic Void champion. At least it's going to be good for me at this current time with my roster, so that's going to come in quite handy. And I just pulled a Bellower. I wish I kind of got him earlier, but I will have to find a use for him. He's still a powerful champion, just very gear dependent. Oh, here we go. 3rd legendary, definitely exceeded my target, and it is Angar. Let's have a look at what he does. So he seems okay. I like the provoke. Reflect damage. That's going to come in quite useful. I can think of a few places I can use that. And he does it for 2 turns. Really, really like that. That's good. And attacks 1 enemy 2 times. That's pretty good as well on a basic. So I've already exceeded what I was expecting to get. Really happy with that. Don't think I'm going to be able to get another champion or legendary champion at this point in time, simply because I am not going to go back to the Ancient Shards. 1, I don't have enough room. I would have to crunch the Void champions that I got. I don't want to do that at this point in time. I do want to build up a collection of the Void champions, regardless if they are epic, legendary, or just rare. I do want to have a good collection stashed away. As I said, I didn't have very many Void champions, so this is actually quite good. So another good champion. I've got a duplicate as well, a very good single attack champion there. Let's see. Okay, still got quite a few more shards to go. And going back to what I was saying earlier, as I was watching streamers pull the Void Shards, and I was watching the amount of Void Shards being pulled per account, so it kind of tended to be around, say, anywhere between 30, 35, even more. But let's say out of 35 Void Shards, I didn't see very many legendary champions drop. Now do bear in mind that in my drop chance to get a legendary champion out of the Void Shard, the unlucky 100 Ancient Shards did have some effect. The fact that I pulled those and then that rare chance didn't occur has actually rolled over onto the Void Shards. So that's kind of the way it works, but it only works if you do it back to back. You don't want to have a break in it. You want to just keep going. Once you commit to pulling your valuable shards, you want to stick with it. So that's why you want to time it. Going back to the mystery shards, if you see in, say, within 5-10 pulls of mystery shards that you're getting the rare champions, even though you've probably not gone to 60 to 70 pulls, you want to really consider going to the next level of shards, the more rarer shards, whether it's the Void Shards, the Ancient Shards, the Sacred Shards, and that's because you are on a roll where you're getting that rare current to take place on the bad shards quite often, so you want to switch over to the good shards while that is going for you. Once you commit to the rare shard, you want to keep going. Just because you didn't get it within the first 2 to 3 to 4 pulls, you want to commit to it. But if you don't see a blue champion, a rare champion in the mystery shards, and say you're 50 shards in, it's really up to you to decide how you feel your day's going. If you want to go up to 60 to 70 to 80, when you want to cut it off. At that point, it's a real gambling sort of thing, because you want to cut it off before you get that blue champion to drop, because that rare occurrence has not yet happened for you. So you want to move on to the good shards before that happens, so that you can get that rare luck and occurrence to happen on those rare shards. Now, going forward till the end of the last 3 shards, so with these last 3 pulls, I'm going to say that I don't expect anything. It'd be nice to get something, but realistically speaking, I expect nothing out of them, or nothing of a legendary quality, simply because I don't have the space to pull the mystery shards. So if I were to have had the space to do that, if I would have crunched the rare void shards, I would then have had an expectation of something coming out of this. As it stands, if I get it, fine. If not, still happy with what I got. And here we go, last but not least, Occult Brawler, a good champion. I'm happy with that. Definitely gonna make use of this guy. So there you have it, folks. 3 legendaries out of over 250 shards. Mathematically speaking, bear in mind that the Ancient Shards have a 0.5% drop chance, yet I still got 2 legendaries from that. I only had 35 Void Shards, and I got a legendary from that as well. The luck has rolled over from the Ancient Shards into the Void Shards, which is what I was hoping to do, and it's worked out in my favor. I got a legendary champion that I can definitely make use of. Very important things to remember from this video is always make sure you have enough silver to be able to pull them, because you will want to also have a lot of mystery shards. You always want to pull mystery shards before you pull your higher quality shards. You would want to pull anywhere between 60 to 100 mystery shards before moving to your higher quality shards, whether those are Ancient Shards, Void Shards, Sacred Shards, it doesn't matter. You want to pull quite a few. You want to pull as many as you can without getting that rare champion from the mystery shards. Once you get a legendary, you want to go back into the mystery shards, pull anywhere between 50 to 100 of them before you go back to the rare shard pulls. Also, you will need quite a lot of silver, because you will be using that to pull the mystery shards. That costs about 5,000 silver per pull. Bear in mind, if you pull in, say, 60 to 70 to 80 of those, you will then want to crunch them, which again cost money. So you'll want to feed them to a champion that you want to level up and you want to use later on, again costing money. Then you want to move on to whatever shard you want to pull. Again, the rarer shards will cost more money, so you want to pull those. If you're gonna try and pull hundreds of, say, Ancient Shards, for example, or Void Shards. Void Shards are hard to come by, but let's say Ancient Shards, again, that will cost quite a bit, as it is 200,000 silver per 10 stack. Then obviously you'll have to crunch those champions that you don't want to make space for new champions and new pulls. So it does get quite costly in terms of silver. That is it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it, found it useful and informative, and this has taken me quite a while to compile this information into this video. I hope that you have liked it. If you did, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Let's help everyone get those legendaries. a bit more often. And if you have subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.